Hello students, welcome to Narayan PU College online classes. So in the last video, we have discussed about the oxygen and also oxides. Those are simple oxides and mixed oxides we have already completed. Clear? So the next concept is here ozone. Clear ma? So put heading here is ozone. You know what is the formula of ozone? O3. And ozone can also be called as trioxygen. Can also be called as what it is here? Trioxygen or directly ozone. Clear? So you know that ozone where it is present? Ozone is present in the upper atmosphere, means if you take about 20 kilometers away from the earth surface. Clear? And there, and it is formed by the UV radiation of oxygen. UV radiation of which one here? Of oxygen. Means oxygen, it absorbs the UV radiation in the upper atmosphere and it is converted into ozone. Clear? So that's why if you write here, suppose if I take oxygen, UV radiation, clear ma? Visible, clear? So in that one, O2 is converted into what it is here? O3. So how many moles I have to take here? 3 oxygens are there. Take 3 and here take 2. Ultraviolet radiation if you use, means it will be there in the upper atmosphere. Clear? So that's why this oxygen in the upper atmosphere and absorbs the UV radiation, and you know that due to that UV radiation it will be converted into oxygen. So that is ozone. Clear ma? So next one is, this is simple thing I have mentioned. Next, same as usual, we will first discuss the preparation. We will discuss about the preparation. Clear ma? So this preparation method is very important for your PU examination. Clear ma? Sometimes they are asking this preparation in the PU examination. Clear? So how to prepare the ozone? So ozone is prepared by the oxygen only. Clear ma? So what we will do, and we will pass the dry oxygen through the silent electric discharge, then oxygen is converted into ozone. Oxygen is converted into what it is here? Ozone. Clear? See now what it is here, very important. And oxygen, dry oxygen, when we pass through which one ma? Silent electric discharge. Electric discharge, then the conversion of oxygen to ozone takes place. Clear? And also this is a exothermic reaction. It is endothermic reaction, 142 kilojoule per mole. What it is here? 142 kilojoule per mole. You see delta H is positive. Delta H is positive means which reaction it is? It is a exothermic reaction. Clear? And so that's why it is as exothermic reaction. So that's why, and here silent electric discharge is required. You may ask why silent electric discharge we have to use. Clear? So what does it mean? Silent electric discharge means it is a sparkless electric discharge, means it will produce the heat energy and produce the less amount of the heat energy. Clear? Why less amount of heat energy is required here? Why we cannot use here directly heat energy instead of the silent electric discharge? Clear? Why? Because means ozone is a unstable molecule. Ozone is a which one ma? Unstable molecule. If I supply high amount of heat energy here, again decomposition of ozone takes place and give back to the oxygen. So that's why we have to use what it is here? Silent electric discharge. Silent electric discharge, it produces or it provides less heat energy, thus prevents the decomposition of ozone back to oxygen. Clear ma? So this is about the what it is preparation. And very important here, oxygen is very stable and this is what it is unstable. Clear ma? So that's why this reaction, it is a stable and it is a unstable. Clear? So that's why what we have to do here is, so simple, you know, we have to supply the silent electric discharge here, and after then, you know, only 10% of oxygen is converted into ozone here during this. Why? Because you know, this is a stable, it is a which one? Stable, and it is unstable. Ozone is a unstable, so that's why we are supplying here silent means less amount of the heat energy. So that's why very means almost 10% of, you know, here 10% of ozone is formed. Means what it is? 10% of oxygen is consumed during this reaction and forms what it is here? 10% of ozone. Means in the mixture what will be there here? Ozone will be present, and also remaining 90 amount of which one is present? Oxygen. So that's why this O3 we will called as a ozonized oxygen. What we will call, this is ozonized oxygen. Ozonized oxygen. Clear? So this is about the preparation of which one here? Ozone, and that they are asking in the PU examination. Simple. What do you have to write here? So when dry oxygen is passed through the silent electric discharge and the oxygen is converted into ozone, and this reaction is a endothermic reaction. Clear? That is enough. And equation you have to write, and this ozone which is prepared during this reaction we will call as a ozonized oxygen. Because oxygen is stable and ozone is unstable, we are supplying less amount of the heat energy, silent electric discharge we are using, and which provides the less amount of the heat energy that prevents the, you know, decomposition of ozone to oxygen. Clear? And so it is a more stable, and a very 10% of oxygen will be converted into ozone. So that's why 10% ozone will be there, remaining which one will be there? Oxygen. So that's why the ozone which is formed during this reaction we will call as a ozonized oxygen. Clear, mates? So this is about what it is, preparation of ozone, and asking in the PU examination. Clear? And next one is here structure of ozone. Clear, ma? Next one is structure of ozone. Only one preparation is there, so that preparation is very important. Clear, ma? So you know that here structure of ozone. Clear, ma? What is the structure of ozone here? You know, this is oxygen, and there will be a double bond, and there will be a, you know, bond. Clear, ma? So you know that. Why? Because means here what is the central metal atom here? Oxygen. Oxygen means what is the electronic configuration? Ns2, Np4. Here how many electrons are there in the s orbital? 2 electrons. And here how many electrons are there in the p orbital? 4 electrons will be there. Clear, ma? You know that. How many unpaired electrons are present here? 2 unpaired electrons are present, and these 2 unpaired electrons of one oxygen is used to make a 2 bonds here. One is sigma bond and another one is the pi bond. Clear, ma? So then how many lone pair of electrons are there here? 2 lone pair of electrons. So 1 lone pair of electron it gives, because there is no unpaired electron, because it can't go for the first excitation and second excitation, because it doesn't have the d orbitals. Oxygen doesn't have the d orbitals. So that's why here the bond is a which bond? Dative bond. It provides pair of electrons to oxygen, or can also be written as a, you know, oxygen, and here there is a double bond, and here there is a single bond, and here oxygen is negative charge and this oxygen is a positive charge, because this oxygen is giving electrons and this oxygen is gaining electron. So that's why gaining electron means negative charge, losing electrons means a positive charge. Now what is the hybridization of central atom here? Clear? Central atom means you already know in this case how many lone pair of electrons are there on the oxygen? Only one, because one lone pair is given to the oxygen to form a coordinate bond. So that's why there is only one lone pair is present on the oxygen. So here how many bonds are there? 1, 2. We will consider only sigma bond in the calculation of hybridization, not the pi bonds. So that's why 2 sigma bonds and 1 free lone pair. So how many, you know, and there are 2 bond pairs and plus 1 lone pair. So total how many? 3. 3 means what is the hybridization of oxygen in ozone? Oxygen in ozone. What is the hybridization? hybridization is sp2. What when two bond pairs and one lone pair, what is the shape here? Angular shape. What is the shape ma here? Angular shape. So that is angular shape here, clear? And also you know it involves in the resonance also, because you know this is negative charge, this is double bond, is separated by which one ma here? Single bond. So that's why we can write here is when this bond comes and this bond will go here. So oxygen is positive charge and here there is a double bond and this is a negative charge. Resonance stabilization. So that's why these bonds are involved in the resonance. So that's why all bonds will have the same bond length. All bonds will have the what it is ma? Same bond length. And how can I write finally here? Oxygen, there will be oxygen and there will be oxygen and here pi bond. Clear? So what is the bond angle here? The bond angle is 117 degree. So this is about the what it is ma? Structure of ozone. So ozone means here the central oxygen atom is having hybridization is what it is ma here? This is hybridization is sp2. How many bond pairs and our lone pairs are there? Two bond pairs, one lone pair. So that's why the angle means the shape of this molecule is angular. And what is the angle between the oxygen and oxygen is 117, and this is the resonance hybrid. This is resonance hybrid of ozone. Clear ma? So this is about the preparation and structure of ozone. So next we have here physical properties. Preparation, only one preparation, that is very important for PU examination. Clear ma? So next one is structure. We have already discussed the physical properties. Clear? So it is available in three forms also. Ozone is pale blue gas. It is in form of gas, the color is blue color, and it is a dark blue liquid. In the liquid form it is very dark blue, and it is violet black solid. In the solid it shows which color ma here? Violet black, and it is about 1.67 times heavier than the oxygen. Clear ma? So that's why to replace the means if you want to remove oxygen from some place, then what they will do, they will you know pass the ozone gas. Then ozone gas what it is heavier, so that's why whenever heavier gas is there and it replaces the lighter gas. Clear ma? So that's why it is about 1.6 times heavier than the oxygen. Clear? And it is slightly soluble in water. Like oxygen, it is also slightly soluble. It is a diamagnetic, whereas oxygen is a paramagnetic. Clear? So in the small concentration of ozone, it is harmless. Clear? A small concentration is there, and that ozone it is not harmless. But if the concentration is greater than 100 ppm, then breathing become problem, means breathing here become uncomfortable. So these are about what it is my here physical properties of what it is here ozone. Clear? And next we will discuss about chemical properties. Clear ma? So next it is, put the heading chemical properties. Chemical properties. Clear? So very important here chemical properties. The first one here is decomposition. Decomposition. Clear ma? So I already mentioned here ozone is unstable. Clear ma? So here ozone is thermodynamically unstable. Clear ma? Thermodynamically unstable. So why it is unstable means, so we will write here, you know that first of all decomposition of ozone. Ozone, how it will be decomposed ma here? So ozone is decomposed into O2. Ozone is decomposed into what it is ma? O2. So how many oxygens are there? 3. So that's why multiply this one 3, and here it is a 2. Clear ma? But you know, and preparation we have already discussed. Ozone preparation from the oxygen, I already previously only we have mentioned, and this is 2O3, and you know silent electric discharge we have used here. What is the purpose of using silent electric discharge? It provides the less heat so that you know and decomposition of O3 can be prevented. Clear? So here O2, preparation of ozone from the oxygen, is a which reaction? Endothermic. You know delta H is equal to, I have written here, plus 142 kilojoule per mole. Now this is a reverse reaction. Reverse means what is it? Decomposition of ozone, formation of ozone here. Reverse reaction, what it will be? Reverse reaction is a decomposition reaction of ozone here. Then what will happen here? Delta H should be what it is, negative 142 kilojoule per mole. Because when the reaction reverse, and automatically the sign of the heat of enthalpy also changes. Clear? So means formation of ozone is a endothermic reaction, but you know, and decomposition of ozone is a which one? Exothermic reaction. That you have to remember. Clear? So means what is the decomposition of ozone means what will be the delta H here? Delta H for this reaction is negative. Delta H for this reaction is negative. And what about the delta S? Delta S means what is enthalpy, sorry, entropy. Delta S means what is entropy. Entropy for the reaction, while it is means it is a positive or negative, can be easily identified by seeing the here number of moles. If number of moles for the reaction is positive, for only gaseous molecules we have to calculate number of moles. If number of moles are positive, then entropy is increasing. Entropy increases means what is entropy will be positive. And if number of moles means change in the number of moles, delta n means what we will write n2 minus or np minus nr, product moles minus reactant moles. Clear? If delta n is positive, automatically delta S also positive. If delta n is equal to negative, delta S also negative. Calculate delta n for this reaction. Products moles how many? 3. Reactant moles how many? 1. So it is a positive or not? So that's why it is a positive. Delta S is positive. Now we know that according to the Gibbs free energy, delta Z is equal to delta H minus delta TdS. Means delta Z is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Clear? You know that. What is the delta H here? Delta H is a, you know, negative and minus. T is constant here. Delta S is what it is? Positive. This is a positive. Clear? Now what will happen here? Negative, and I will write here minus of minus, what it is? Minus of minus minus. Clear? So we are adding 2 minus means you will get minus value will increases here. Minus plus minus we are adding. Here minus, here also minus. So adding, you will get the more negative here. If delta Z is more negative, the reaction is spontaneous. The reaction is what it is? Spontaneous. Spontaneous means what it is? Without, you know, any external force, the reaction takes place on its own. That we will call as a spontaneous. Means delta is more negative. Delta is negative, then it is a spontaneous. Delta Z is positive, it is a non-spontaneous. That we have already studied in the, you know, thermodynamics. Clear? So for this decomposition reaction, we are getting delta Z is negative. Means this reaction takes place on its own. Means decomposition is very, very easy. Why easy? Because it is a unstable. It is a which one? Unstable. And it is a which one? Stable. I already mentioned. How unstable molecule will be converted into stable? You know that unstable means it will have high energy, and stable means it will have less energy. How higher energy will be converted into lower energy? By releasing some energy. So that's why this reaction delta H will be a negative. That can also be, you can written, because you know 2O3 here and is converted into 3O2. It is, I mentioned, unstable, and it is what it is? Stable. If it is unstable, it will have high energy. It will have what it is? High energy, and it will have less. Stable means it will have less energy. How high energy molecules will be converted into less energy molecule? By releasing some energy. If energy is released, then the delta H will be negative. If you don't know, formation of ozone from the oxygen is endothermic reaction, then decomposition is a exothermic reaction. If you don't know that, you can also identify whether delta H is positive or negative by this reaction. Clear ma? So this is what it is about decomposition reaction. Means ozone is a thermodynamically unstable because you know it is reaction is a forward means why it will be forward, because if the reaction moves forward there you are getting stable product. So that's why it is why it is stable product it is getting, because it is unstable, so that's why it will move towards the stable product. So decomposition takes place very easily. So this is about the decomposition. Second chemical property, first chemical property we have already mentioned, decomposition. Ozone being an unstable molecule easily undergo decomposition and gives the which one ma? Stable oxygen. And the second one is oxidizing agent. Clear ma? Second one is, second property, oxidizing agent. Very important, this is oxidizing agent. Clear ma? So what is oxidizing agent? Means ozone is a very powerful oxidizing agent. Clear ma? The first means you know the powerful oxidizing agent is the fluorine, and you know ozone is the second most powerful oxidizing agent. Clear ma? So that is, you know, first it is ozone is very powerful oxidizing agent right here. Ozone is very powerful oxidizing agent, second only to fluorine, second only to what it is here, fluorine. Means fluorine is the, you know, powerful oxidizing agent, most powerful oxidizing agent, and you know ozone is the second most powerful oxidizing agent, and it is second one, and it is powerful oxidizing agent than the oxygen. Oxygen also we have already discussed, it is a oxidizing agent. So here powerful oxidizing agent, right? This one, ozone is powerful oxidizing agent than what it is ma? Oxygen. Okay, so why it shows the, you know, why it act as a oxidizing agent? Clear ma? What is the, and you know, driving force for the ozone to act as a oxidizing agent? You know that I already mentioned, ozone is undergo decomposition and converted into ozone and gives here nascent oxygen. What it gives ma here? Nascent oxygen. You know, these are nascent oxygen, nascent hydrogen, nascent chlorine. These are very powerful reactive, very highly you say highly reactive these species are. Clear ma? So here, and ozone, it provides the oxygens to other compounds. It is providing oxygen to other compounds and those compounds will get oxidized. Clear ma? So that's why here the nascent oxygen is the responsible for the oxidizing property of ozone. Clear ma? Oxidizing means what is? Oxidizing agent means what it is? It oxidizes other substances. How it oxidizes other substances? By providing the oxygen. So ozone, it provides the oxygen to the other substance, and so that substances get oxidized. Clear ma here? So this is nascent oxygen is the responsible for the oxidizing property of which one ma here? Ozone. So ozone, it oxidizes, you know, compounds, metals and non-metals, and also it acts as a reducing agent and bleaching agent, and all we will discuss one by one. Put the heading here. First one, oxidation of compounds. Oxidation of what it is ma here? Compounds. Oxidation of compounds. Clear ma? So first one here, very important in this one. Lead sulfide is oxidized to, this is the question asking in the PU examination, means fill in the blanks and PBS plus O3 and complete the following reaction. Clear ma? You have to write the products here. PBS means it oxidizes the lead sulfide into lead sulfate. What is the name here? Lead sulfide into what it is ma? Lead sulfate. This is what it is, lead sulfate. Clear? Sulfate. What is this lead sulfide means? It is a black color. Lead sulfide is a what it is ma? Black lead sulfide is oxidized to white lead sulfate. what it is here, white lead sulfate. Clear? So what is the reaction here and how it is? You know that whenever ozone is act as an oxidizing agent, one of the products should be, it is reduced to which one oxygen, because it is reduced to dioxygen because it removes one oxygen. Removal of oxygen, what we will call it undergo reduction. When it undergo reduction, if it is act as a oxidizing agent, it undergo reduction. You know that oxidizing agents oxidizes other substance and themselves they undergo reduction, they reduced. O3 is reduced to O2. One of the product should be what it is here, O2. Clear? So that I will write here. Now you know that PbS plus O3 is giving rise to PbSO4 and plus one of the products should be what it is O2. Now balance the equation. Clear ma? So balance the equation means you know that here Pb is yes Pb plus 2, here also Pb plus 2, it won't be changed, yes minus 2 and here there will be a plus 6. Clear ma? So what is the total increase in the oxidation state? 8. But here you see ozone is 0 and here oxygen is also what is oxidation state is 0. But for our understanding purpose, what I will do, actually it is not correct. O3 is giving rise to O2 and it loses one oxygen. Oxygen means what is the charge minus 2, means whenever ozone is converted into O2, it loses how many electrons here? 2 electrons. So you have to take here 2. Actually it is not correct. For understanding purpose how to balance the equation, I will explain on this way. When ozone is converted into O2, then oxygen, how many electrons involved here? 2 electrons. Just assume like that. Clear ma? So here how many electrons are involved here? 2. So that's why. And you know 2 1 ja and here 2 4 ja, means this equation, it is increase in 1 unit and decrease 4 units, decrease in 1 unit. So that's why this I have to multiply with the 4, means O3 to O2 should be multiplied by the which one 4, that is. Clear ma? Understand here? So means always you remember whenever O3 is converted into O2, what is the change here? 2 electrons you have to take. Actually we will consider O3 oxidation state is 0, O2 oxidation state is also 0 because they are in elemental form. Clear ma? Pure form. When pure form is there, we will take oxidation state as a 0. Clear? But actually how many electrons are involved here? 2 electrons, remember. Then you have to multiply this one with the what it is 4 and here also with the 4, that is. Clear ma? So this is most of the time question they are asking. Clear ma? And second one and you know halogen acids are converted into, halogen acids are oxidized, halogen acids are oxidized to halogens. Oxidized to which one here? Halogens. What are halogen acids here? Halogen acids means HX, HCl, HBr and HF, they are oxidized to halogen, that is. Clear ma? Means if I take here HCl plus you know O3 is giving rise to, you know what you will get here? H2O plus Cl2. What you are getting here? Cl2, gas is getting. Clear ma? Here chlorine are 2, so that's why I take here 2 moles here. 2 moles means you know chlorines are 2 and it is automatically plus what you will get here? You will get the compound is ozone or oxygen also. H2O plus what it is oxygen. Then balance here equation. So how many chlorine atoms are there here? 2 chlorine atoms. And if you balance this equation, you will get 2 HCl plus O3, you will get Cl2. Balanced I think already it is. You see here 3 oxygens are there, here 1 oxygen and here 2 oxygen. It is balanced. That is the second one. And third one is here. And potassium iodide is oxidized to iodine. Potassium iodide is oxidized to what it is iodine. So Ki, potassium iodide is oxidized to what it is iodine. Clear? And very important here, this is moist potassium iodide. Clear ma? Moist potassium iodide is converted into what it is here? Iodine. Means oxidized by the oxygen to iodine. You know here it is a Ki plus H2O plus what it is O3. Clear? Then you will get the compound here iodine plus what it is KOH plus oxygen. Clear ma? So balance here I2 is there, so that's why I have to multiply this one with the 2. So iodine is there. You can do the balancing ion electron method also. You can, if you want, you can do that. And Ki2, iodine is here, and here there are 2 KOH, and here 4 oxygens, and here also 4 oxygen. And very important here, this reaction is used to, you know, identify the quantitative estimation of ozone. It is used to, what it is here, this reaction is used for quantitative estimation of ozone. Write that one. This reaction is used for quantitative estimation of ozone. Why? Because means, you know that here iodine which is formed in this reaction is actually titrated with the standard sodium thiosulfate. Clear ma? Titration we will do. So when we are doing the titration, we can easily identify the amount of the iodine here. So how much amount of iodine is there? You know, in this reaction 1 mole of ozone produces the 1 mole of iodine. If you know the amount of iodine here consumed during the titration, that is equal to the, what it is here, by means moles are same, so that's why we can easily calculate the amount of the ozone also. So that's why this reaction is used for quantitative estimation. How we will do? So we will take iodine, and iodine is titrated with against the sodium thiosulfate, Na2S2O3. Then it will be titrated, and then it will be converted into Na2S4O6 plus 2 moles of, what it is here, 2NaI. So by this reaction, you know, they can estimates the amount of the iodine. So that's why if you estimate the amount of the iodine, and iodine converted into the moles, and those iodine moles and ozone moles are equal, so number of moles of iodine is equal to number of moles of ozone. So that's why we can also estimate the, by, if you know the moles, you can easily calculate the weight. So that's why our ozone amount can be estimated by using this reaction. So this is what it is my oxidation. Next one. So next here, oxidizing property, fourth one, compounds only, oxidation of compounds. It oxidizes nitrites to nitrate, sulfite to sulfate, arsenite to arsenate, and manganate to permanganate also. So I will write here, first of all, and KNO2 plus O3 is converted into, what it is ma? KNO3 plus O2. Clear ma? So it is what it is, potassium nitrite. It is what it is ma? Potassium nitrate. It is what? Potassium nitrate. Clear ma? See here, potassium nitrite is converted into nitrate, and also sulfites are converted into sulfates. Sodium sulfite will be oxidized to sodium sulfate, Na2SO4 plus, what it is ma? Oxygen. In the same way, you know, arsenites, Na3ASO3, sodium arsenite is oxidized to sodium arsenate, Na2ASO4 plus, what is oxygen? It provides one oxygen too here. So and the same way, and potassium manganate, MnO4, and water in presence of aqueous and O3, it provides the, what it is ma? And permanganate, manganate will be oxidized to permanganate, KMnO4 plus, what it is ma here, KOH plus one of the product is, what it is ma? Oxygen. Clear ma? So because in this case, you know, take the here K is there, and 2 K atoms are there, and multiply this one with the 2, then automatically it will be balanced, and 2K and here O2. Clear ma? So this is about the manganate. This is what it is ma? Potassium manganate will be converted into potassium permanganate. Clear ma? What is the oxidation state? +7. Here what is the oxidation state? +6. It is oxidized to +7. Yeah. So these are about, what it is ma? Oxidation of compounds by the which one ma? Ozone. And second property here. Clear? Second one is oxidation of non-metals. Oxidation of which one ma here? Non-metals. oxidation of nonmetals. Clear no? So what is the oxidation of nonmetals? You know, and iodine and here phosphorus and sulfur etc. are oxidized to respective oxo acids. Previous we have already discussed. Nitric acid it oxidizes the iodine to iodic acid, phosphorus to phosphoric acid, sulfur to sulfuric acid, and carbon to carbonic acid. Same I will write one or two reactions here. And P4 plus what it is ma, ozone plus H2O is giving rise to what it is ma here, H3PO4 plus what you will get ma, oxygen. You will get what is oxygen, because you know phosphoric acid and here P4, you know what is here, oxidation state 0, and here there will be a 5. For 1 phosphorus increase is how much ma, 5. For 4 phosphorus increase is how much ma, 24 into 5, 20. But ozone to O3 to O2, how many electrons, 2. So that's why here 1 and here 2 on the 2, 10 means this I have to multiply with the what it is ma, 10. Clear? That is how to balance this is. Clear ma? So multiply this one with the 10. If it is 10 and here also I have to write here 10 and remaining you balance. Clear ma? So here phosphorus, how many are there, 4. So I will multiply this one with the 4. 3 into 2, 3, 4 into 3, 12. 12 means I have to put here 6. So phosphorus is oxidized to phosphoric acid. In the same way, iodine is oxidized to iodic acid, HiO3. Clear ma? HiO3 plus what it is ma, oxygen. So here you know it is 0 and here what it is ma, 5. For 1 iodine increase is 5, for 2 iodine 10. Here 10 and here 2, so that's why it is 1 and it is 5. So ozone to O2 should be multiplied by the 5, that is. Clear ma? So multiply here 5 and here also 5, and iodines 2 are there and here multiply 2. So this is balanced. Iodine is oxidized to iodic acid. In the same way, if I write here sulfur to sulfuric acid, you can write that one. Clear? So this is about oxidation of which one ma here, non-metals. If you want, sulfur plus O3 is H2O is giving rise to, you know, sulfuric acid, H2SO4. So one of the product always should be what it is ma, oxygen. So here 0 and 6. Here 6 means 48. 48 means 24. You balance, you can get here 24, and here what it is ma, 24. Sulfur 8 are there, 8. 8 into 2, 16. 16 means I have to write here 8. So this is what it is ma, oxidation of non-metals. And metalloids also, arsenic, if you take arsenic acid. So next one, we have discussed about the oxidation of compounds, oxidation of non-metals, and the next one, oxidation of metals. When metal reacted with ozone and metals are oxidized to respective metal oxides. Clear ma? Suppose first I will write here silver. Silver react with ozone and you will get the compound is silver monoxide, Ag2O plus O2. One of the product is what is O2. So that's why 2 molecules of H. And in the same way, mercury when reacted with O3, then you will get the mercurous oxide plus what you will get O2. And here one important question is there, tailing of, you know, mercury. Clear ma? What is tailing of mercury means? You know that mercury when you keep in the test tube, it will forms the meniscus. Clear ma? So like it is. If anything is there, so like meniscus will be there. When ozone gas is passed through the mercury, clear ma? So ozone gas is passed through the mercury and it loses its meniscus and stick to the, you know, test tube. That process, that is called as a tailing of mercury. Clear ma? So put the heading here, tailing of mercury. Clear? Sometimes they are asking tailing of mercury. Clear ma? Tailing of mercury. Clear here? Whenever mercury is passed, write that one. Ozone is passed through mercury, it loses meniscus and sticks to the test tube walls of test tube, clear ma? And this process called tailing of mercury, clear ma? So this we will called as a what it is ma, and tailing of mercury, clear? And here what happened, you see what is here, when ozone is passed through the mercury, and what is this is mercurous oxide. This is the responsible for tailing of mercury, clear ma here? So ozone is passed through the mercury, it loses its meniscus and start sticking to what is ma, test tube walls, and this process is called as a tailing of mercury. And this is about the what it is ma here, oxidation of metals. And the next one is bleaching action. Next one is what it is ma, bleaching action, you know. And ozone can also act as a bleaching agent, and because of its oxidizing nature, because of what it is here, oxidizing nature, write this one. Ozone is act as bleaching agent due to its oxidizing nature or oxidizing action, clear ma? You can write oxidizing nature, or can also be written as oxidizing action, clear ma? So you know that ozone is what it is ma, it will be dissociated and gives the what it is ma, nascent oxygen, clear ma? So if any, you know, colored matter is there, when we add ozone, it will be converted into what it is ma here, colorless, you know, matter, plus gives what it is ma, oxygen. Why? Because you know ozone is act as oxidizing agent, it provides the nascent oxygens to colored matter, and this colored matter get oxidized to colorless matter by removing the oxygen, clear ma? So this is bleaching action of oxygen. Sometimes they will ask in the competitive examination, the bleaching action of oxygen is due to oxidation, reduction, or oxidation and reduction, none of the above. What you have to choose ma here, oxidation, clear? So we have to take here dry ozone in this case, clear ma? And next one is reducing agent, clear ma? Reducing agent. So even though ozone is act as a powerful oxidizing agent, but in some cases act as a weak reducing agent, clear ma? Ozone can also act as weak reducing agent, clear ma? It reduces, you know, peroxides, it reduces what it is ma, peroxides, it reduces peroxides, clear ma? If I take suppose sodium peroxide, Na2O2, or directly you can take hydrogen peroxide, so H2O2 plus what it is ma, O3, then what you will get, H2O plus 2 moles of oxygen. You see here H2O2, how many oxygens are there with the hydrogen? 2, but here what it is ma, only one oxygen, means ozone it removes the oxygen. Removal of oxygen we will call as a reduction, means it acts as a now here reducing agent removes the oxygen, clear ma? In the same way, if you take barium peroxide plus ozone, what you will get ma, barium oxide plus 2 moles of oxygen. In some competitive examinations, so they will ask, you know, ozone act as a oxidizing agent, reducing agent, bleaching agent, all of the above, clear ma? So you can choose the option here, it can act as an oxidizing agent, can also act as a bleaching agent, also act as a weak reducing agent. So in this one, last topic here is depletion of ozone, you know, ozone hole we will call. So why ozone layer? You know, ozone layer, it protects the, you know, and here animals and means living things by the very harmful UV radiation. Clear my here? So it protect, you know, earth by the, you know, very harmful UV and some gamma rays all. Clear? So what happened here? Mainly nitrogen oxides. Clear ma? So nitrogen oxides, mainly nitric oxide, it react with the ozone and will be converted into NO2 plus O2. NO2 plus O2. Clear ma? So nitric oxide, which is present in the, you know, upper atmosphere, will be released by the supersonic jets and aeroplanes, and due to that smoke you will get what it is here, and this NO is, you know, produced, clear, released by the supersonic jets and aeroplanes in the upper atmosphere, and that NO will react means what it is, it is consuming the ozone, so creates the ozone hole there. Clear? And convert into NO2 plus O2. Clear my here? So next one, and in the same way we have, you know, it is mainly causes the depletion of ozone. And the second one is here freons. You know what are freons here? Fluorochlorocarbons of methane and ethane we will called as a freons, and freons also causes the depletion of ozone. Clear ma? You know freons means, suppose I will write here, this is the freons, fluorochlorocarbons. When they are, freons are there means chlorofluorocarbons, they are released by, you know, refrigerators. Clear ma? So when they are in the, you know, atmosphere, in our atmosphere, they are stable, but when they are moving from earth atmosphere to, you know, and above 20 kilometers, clear, that is stratosphere, then what happened here, and due to the UV radiation is present there, and due to this UV radiation it will be converted into free radicals. It will be converted into what it is, free radical, and this chlorine free radical will be react with the ozone and forms the, you know, here oxygen. Clear ma? And you see, and it is consuming which one ma? Oxygen, this free radical, it react with chlorine and convert into this. Again you see, this chlorine radical will be generated lot of during this reaction, and this ClO radical will again dissociated into, you know what it is ma here, chlorine radical and oxygen radical. What the point? So again producing which one? Chlorine radical. That chlorine radical again consuming the oxygen and causes the depletion of ozone. So this is about the what it is here, and you know, chemical properties of ozone. Then I will write here one or two uses are there, and we will discuss about uses. So here we have completed the chemical properties, and last concept here, uses. So for air purification at crowded areas like cinema halls and tunneling railways, clear? In this case, to purify the air we will use the ozone. I already mentioned ozone is about 1.6 times heavier than the oxygen. If oxygen is, you know, it is impure, you can say, and to purify means to remove, you have to remove the air from that cinema halls, you know, and at that time they will spray the what it is here, ozone. Clear? So it ozone because heavier than it is heavier than air, so that's why it replaces the air in that place. And in sterilizing drinking water by oxidizing all germs and bacteria, because it acts as an oxidizing agent, and can also it act as a bleaching agent, so that's why bleaching delicate fabrics as a silk, you know, starch, wax we can use. And to look at the double bonds in organic chemistry. Clear ma? So I already mentioned, whenever double bond is there and we can break the double bond, put one oxygen to one carbon and another oxygen to another carbon, means where the double bond is present we can easily locate it by using what it is here, ozone. Clear? So this is about the ozone, and next we will go for the allotropes of phosphorus. Clear? We have already mentioned three mainly phosphorus shows the three allotropic forms. One is a red phosphorus and another one is a white phosphorus, so sulfur here. So sulfur means rhombic sulfur, monoclinic sulfur, and also plastic sulfur is there, and we will discuss all one by one here. So next one is here allotropic forms of sulfur. So in the first video means we have discussed about the allotropy of 16th group element. In that one, sulfur I have already mentioned. Sulfur forms exhibits many number of allotropic forms. The main important allotropic forms of sulfur are rhombic sulfur or alpha sulfur, monoclinic sulfur or beta sulfur, plastic sulfur or can also be called as a gamma sulfur. So we will discuss one by one of these three forms of sulfur. First one, rhombic sulfur. Clear ma? It is the most stable and common form of the sulfur. It is most stable form of the sulfur at room temperature. Clear ma? So it is more stable, and it is also called as a which sulfur ma? Alpha sulfur, and it is in pale yellow in color. So that's why sometimes rhombic sulfur can also be called as a yellow sulfur. Can also be called as which one? Yellow sulfur. Why? Because of its yellow color. And it is insoluble in water but highly soluble in carbon disulfide, organic solvent. Clear ma? Next one, it has the density about 2.07 gram per centimeter cube. It existed as a S8 molecule. Sulfur existed as a S8 molecule, and the 8 sulfur atoms in the S8 molecules forms puckered ring structure of what it is here, crown shape. I have already mentioned what is the shape of this molecule, and like this crown shape or puckered shape you can write. Clear ma? So this is, so here at this there will be a sulfur atoms will be present here, sulfur, and here what it is sulfur atoms. How many sulfur atoms are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is what it is here, puckered structure of what it is crown shape. And this is about the which one here, rhombic sulfur. And then we will go for the important points. Most stable form, can also be called as yellow sulfur, insoluble in H2O, and the structure of this molecule is, this is puckered ring structure. Clear ma? So next we will discuss about the monoclinic and plastic. So next one here, monoclinic sulfur. Clear ma? So it is stable only above the 369 Kelvin. Clear ma? Below the 369 Kelvin, it will be converted into rhombic sulfur. Clear ma? So that's why rhombic sulfur above 390 Kelvin. Take the rhombic sulfur, heated this one above 369 Kelvin, rhombic sulfur is converted into monoclinic sulfur. If below 369 Kelvin is there, monoclinic sulfur is converted into rhombic sulfur. Means above 369 monoclinic, below 369 rhombic. At exactly 369 Kelvin temperature, both forms are existed. Rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur will be existed at a 369 Kelvin, and that 369 Kelvin temperature we will called as a transition temperature. Clear ma? So here, and it is dull yellow in color, also called as a what sulfur ma? Beta sulfur. It has density 2.19 gram per centimeter cube and has a long needle shaped crystal. It is a crystal, and it will have long needle shaped crystal it will be, and it existed as a S8 molecule, and like rhombic sulfur. But here where the difference will be there means structures are same, but what it is in the symmetry they will show the difference in the what it is symmetry. So how it will be means, it is like this. This is clear ma? Here sulfur, and these are sulfurs. Clear? So here you see the symmetry. Previous is symmetry difference. Both will have the S8 molecule, and like puckered structure. It is also having the puckered structure, but the difference where only difference in the symmetry of this structure. Clear? And also I forgot to mention here one point. It is insoluble in water and soluble in CS2, like rhombic sulfur. Clear no? And coming to the next one, plastic sulfur. It is obtained by pouring boiling sulfur in cold water. Means hot sulfur, heat it and immediately you put into the cold water, you will get the plastic sulfur. So it is a amorphous form of sulfur. Why? Because immediately, because hot, very heating means we are boiling the sulfur, immediately we are pouring into the water into the water. So that's why, and we are means it don't have the time to convert it into the crystal form, so that's why it is a amorphous form, and also that's why we will call it as a super cooled liquid. Clear ma here? So that is density 2.19 gram per centimeter cube, like you know, same density with the monoclinic, also called as a which one, gamma sulfur. And you know, unstable, on standing it slowly converted into what it is, rhombic sulfur. It is insoluble in both the water and carbon disulfide. It contains, you know, long chain S8 rings and also chains of large number of S atom, and it is also regarded as a what it is, super cool liquid. Why super cool liquid? Because you know what it is, and when we are liquid which because of rapid cooling below its melting point has no time to settle in crystalline form, that we will call as a super liquid. And you know, and how this sulfur are existed means, like you know, chains, like clear ma? Here sulfur atoms, long chains, clear? So these are structure of this molecule, and this is about the what it is ma here, monoclinic sulfur and plastic sulfur. So next one is cyclo-S6 form, another important, you know, allotropic form of sulfur. That is what it is, cyclo-S6 form. The shape of this molecule is chair form. Clear ma? You see like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is what the form it is ma? It is in the form of chair. Clear? And very important point here, and above 1000 Kelvin the dominant form of sulfur is not S8. It is what it is ma? S2. Clear? So that's why S2 like oxygen, O2. Clear ma? So you know, 2 unpaired electrons are there in the O2, 2 unpaired electrons are there in the anti-bonding pi orbitals. Clear ma? It is in the same way sulfur also will have the 2, you know, unpaired electrons in the anti-bonding. So that's why it is in which one ma? Paramagnetic. In the NCERT one question they have given, in which form of the sulfur is paramagnetic? Which form? S2 form of the sulfur is paramagnetic, not the S8 form. And this is about the allotropic forms of what it is here, sulfur.